What's on with the YouTube? It's Marty 2 Major, and I'm back with another reaction video. Today we're gonna be reacting to top 10 worst decisions that happened over 1,000 years ago. I want y'all to watch it with me, so y'all go sit back, relax, and we go dive right into it. Let's go.
On the ashes, that's our official motto.
You don't like books, then?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at the most monumental blunders from times gone by.
You fool!
The sack of Constantinople.
I was able to trace his lineage. Nick, his ancestors go back to the Crusades. If I'm right, one of his relatives on his father's side was a knight that fought for the Knights Templar in the sack of Constantinople.
The Fourth Crusade was sold to Christian commoners as an effort to reclaim Jerusalem from Muslim control. However, a mix of financial desperation, political maneuvering, and greed led to a dramatic detour. In 1204, Crusaders, deeply indebted to Venice, turned their swords against Constantinople, the greatest Christian city of the East. Over 3 days, the Crusaders looted its treasures, burned churches, and even defiled the Hagia Sophia. The Byzantine Empire, already weakened by internal struggles, never fully recovered. The sacking permanently fractured relations between Eastern and Western Christendom, and the empire's fragmentation left it vulnerable to the Ottoman conquest in 1453. Some historians argue that this single event altered global history, shifting power westward while dividing Christian kingdoms.
By now, everyone was really into the Crusades, so they started holding them regularly, fighting back and forth to see which side would win Jerusalem this year.
King Darius III's flight.
I don't even know what happened, but all I know is that's what happens when you like switching sides.
The Battle of Issus.
The Persian king Darius, annoyed by the notion of Greek freedom, has come to Greece to bring us to heel.
In 333 BCE, King Darius III of Persia had one job: stop Alexander the Great at Issus. With a far larger army, Darius seemed poised for victory. His troops applied pressure, threatening to overwhelm the Macedonian flank. But then, Alexander gambled everything on a bold charge straight at Darius. As the Macedonian cavalry smashed through Persian lines, Darius panicked. The so-called King of Kings ditched his men, abandoned his family, and fled. Seeing their leader bolt, his army collapsed into chaos. This blunder shattered Persian morale and marked a turning point in Alexander's conquest. Alexander kept Darius's mother, wife, and daughters as honored guests. Darius tried again to defeat Alexander at Gaugamela, and once again fled. He would go on to be deposed and murdered in a coup.
The commander of the Greek force is named Themistocles.
Yes, he is an Athenian general. He's rumored to have loosed the arrow that felled the great King Darius himself.
The Varian disaster.
Quintilius Varus, an old friend from Rome.
Ah, the name is not unfamiliar. You honor us with your presence.
The honor is mine to fall upon such warm hospitality.
In 9 CE, Rome thought it had Germania under control. That illusion was fully dispelled when Publius Quintilius Varus marched 3 legions into a nightmare of blood and steel. A Germanic ally, Arminius, had informed Varus of a supposed rebellion and recommended that Varus lead his legions through the dense Teutoburg forest. Arminius was Roman-educated and had even served in the army, but in secret, he was plotting against them. With Arminius at their head, Germanic tribes ambushed Varus's forces. Unable to form proper battle lines, they were slaughtered. Varus, realizing the catastrophe, fell on his own sword, as did many of his commanders. Rome lost between 15 and 20,000 men and any hopes of conquering Germania.
The whole army of Quintilius Varus was massacred in the Teutoburg forest. Nothing stands between the German tribes and our provinces in Gaul.
The Children's Crusade.
Oh, wishy-washy here is too moral to throw a beanball.
What about the way the early settlers treated the Indians?
And what about that moral?
I ain't gonna count them hats pressure. Y'all gotta see me win. I'ma send y'all an edit, and all y'all gotta do is shoot me some clothes off, and I'ma promote y'all brand.
How about the Children's Crusade? Was that moral?
In 1212, one of history's most tragic and misguided religious movements took shape. The so-called Children's Crusade saw thousands of young people and peasants in Europe march toward the Mediterranean, convinced that they were chosen by God to reclaim the Holy Land. Some chroniclers claim that they literally expected the sea to part for them. Their leaders were both shepherds, Stephen of Cloyes in France and Nicholas of Cologne in Germany. Those who didn't die from starvation or exposure before reaching port were reportedly tricked by merchants and sold into slavery in North Africa, or disappeared from history. The movement remains a blend of legend and reality, symbolizing medieval faith and folly.
Look, maybe it's the Axe of Decorum, said to have been forged in hell itself, lost since the Children's Crusade, where it was said to have killed... oh, children. Hope that's not it.
The Arrogance of Inalchuk.
Daddy, please!
A crown for king.
The lesson to learn from the tragic arrogance of Inalchuk is to never pick an unnecessary fight. In 1218, Genghis Khan sent a peaceful trade caravan to the Khwarezmian Empire. Inalchuk, the governor of Otrar, accused them of being spies and executed them. When Genghis Khan sent envoys demanding an apology, the Khwarezmian Shah escalated the insult by killing one and humiliating the other two.
For a madman. Earth and water. But you'll find plenty of both down there.
No man, Persian or Greek, no man threatens a messenger.
The Mongol response was swift and apocalyptic. Khan unleashed his full fury, erasing the Khwarezmian Empire from the map. Inalchuk watched his empire burn around him before being dragged before the Great Khan. Legend says molten silver was poured into his eyes and ears, a grisly execution for one of history's greatest fools.
Khaleesi?
He was no dragon. Fire cannot kill a dragon.
Mayan overexploitation. The mighty Maya were not just masters of astronomy and architecture. Like modern civilizations, they were also experts in self-sabotage. To sustain their booming population, they cleared vast forests for farming, fuel, and temples. But deforestation intensified droughts, reducing rainfall and leading to failed crops and famine. Around 750 to 950 CE, the region was hit by some of the worst droughts in 2,000 years, compounding social and political turmoil. By the time the rain finally returned, many once great Maya cities were abandoned, left as eerie ruins.
Hey, I ain't gonna cap. If they was walking around with that white stuff, they was walking on them like 5 seconds was playing in the video ago, they was looking like plum fools. Like plum fools. You hear me? They toe up.
And swallowed by the jungle. We should all learn from their mistakes and try not to
Look, then as soon as I play the video, baby, they say somebody got swallowed like a jungle. What is going on? Too much going on.
Continue building societies at odds with Mother Nature.
Yanobin ukat yetel uchaik balo. Leluma yanuk inu yaitie.
The Tang Dynasty trusted the wrong general.
And I think you're forgetting that there are written documents of meat between bread being eaten in China during the Tang Dynasty.
You know what? I'll go with you. And then maybe we just go home.
The Tang Dynasty was riding high in the 8th century, until they made the fatal mistake of trusting the wrong man. An Lushan, a Sogdian Turkic general, rose through the Tang ranks. He used his military prowess and charm to manipulate Emperor Xuanzong. An Lushan was showered with titles, riches, and power. He was granted command of the vast army meant to protect China. Instead, in 755, he turned that army against the Tang Dynasty. The subsequent An Lushan rebellion was one of the bloodiest civil wars in human history. The rebellion lasted for 8 years, taking the lives of millions and shattering the dynasty's golden age. The Tang never fully recovered, limping along for another century before collapsing completely.
He trusted you. I trusted you.
We're just trying to help.
No, you attacked us.
Emperor Qi Shi Huang's book burnings.
Power is tearing human minds apart and putting them together again in new shapes of your own choosing.
In 213 BCE, China's first emperor Qi Shi Huang believed that in order to truly unify China, he must unify Chinese thought. To accomplish this, the emperor ordered the burning of books from all rival philosophies and histories. This act of censorship led to the destruction of many works deemed subversive.
See, it's no good, Monty. We've all got to be alike.
The only way to be happy is for everyone to be made equal.
Only texts on topics like medicine, agriculture, and divination were spared. But the emperor's paranoia wasn't sated by book burnings. In 212 BCE, he allegedly ordered the execution of Confucian scholars, though the exact details remain debated among historians. The loss of countless Confucian and historical texts set Chinese intellectual progress back for generations. Later dynasties were forced to attempt to reconstruct all the knowledge that had been erased by flame.
Books are just so much rubbish. They have no interest.
Then why do some people still read them, although it's so dangerous?
Precisely because it is forbidden.
Julius Caesar crossed the Rubicon.
I'm going to cross the Rubicon. Will anyone be coming with me?
With the Senate opposing his bid for a second consulship, Julius Caesar made a decision that shattered the Roman Republic. He led his army across the Rubicon River in a flagrant act of war against the Senate. The phrase crossing the Rubicon now symbolizes a point of no return, and for good reason.
So were I to attempt to leave this cage, you would seal your fate as irrevocably as the tyrant crossing the Rubicon!
Caesar's march on Rome ignited a civil war that ended with him being declared dictator for life, a title that lasted only until his infamous assassination. While he never proclaimed himself emperor, his actions paved the way for Rome's transition from a republic to an empire under his heir Augustus. The fall of the Roman Republic still echoes through history, a reminder of how one man's ambition can reshape an entire civilization.
So you see, the tyrant is dead, the republic is restored, and you are alone. Would you like some honey water?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel.
So you see, the tyrant is dead, the republic is restored, and you are alone.
Alexandria, once the crown jewel of ancient knowledge, met its demise through a series of unfortunate events. The first may have taken place in 48 BCE, during Julius Caesar's siege of Alexandria. A fire meant to destroy enemy ships spread to parts of the city, possibly damaging storage facilities associated with the library.
I'll know more after I've delved into the secret archives of the Antiquarian Library in Alexandria.
Alexandria? Oh, you mean that delightful suburb of Washington, D.C.?
No, Commissioner. Alexandria, Egypt.
Later, between 270 and 275 CE, the city faced invasions and counterattacks that may have inflicted further harm on remaining collections. Yet another blow came in 391 CE when Christians destroyed the Serapeum, a temple that may have still housed some texts. While the exact timeline of the Great Library's demise remains debated, these successive incidents likely eroded the repository of scrolls, resulting in an irreplaceable loss of ancient knowledge.
But why have I brought you across 2,000 years to the Library of Alexandria? Because this was when and where we humans first collected seriously and systematically the knowledge of the world.
Did we miss any of the world's greatest fools from around 1,000 years ago? Let us know in the comments below.
I've made a huge mistake.
Well, I don't know if y'all miss any good, you know what I'm saying? Any good thoughts and other knowledge that the people could know and not could know. But what I could tell you was they had some bold people on here, you hear me? And they deserve to get slapped from the wall to the door. You hear me? But that's not my job to do. And I gotta check out. Y'all already know what time it is. But it's more than 2 major and I'm checking out.